Hey, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to make a video and talk about Milspec AR-15s and what that means and what to look for when you're talking about Milspec. There's a couple other videos out here, but they don't really show you everything to look for and what's going on. So I just thought I'd make a video. I'm just going to jump right into it. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the bolt carrier group and the bolt, the AR-15, and the the first thing here that I want to show you is the bolt, and this is AR-15 bolt here, and you can see here on the bolt where it says MPF, and that means that this bolt was magnetic particle tested, and it was high pressure tested. So they use a special proof round that's a higher pressure than a normal 5.56 round, and they test fire the gun using using the proof round, and then they do a magnetic particle test, which is where, from what I understand, they put metal filings on the bolt, and then they magnetize it, and they see how the filings line up on the bolt, and if there's any microscopic cracks, it'll reveal itself in the magnetic particle testing. So that's the first thing on the bolt, and the bolt should be a shot peened bolt. That's one of the aspects of Milspec. So you want to make sure that your bolt is magnetic particle tested. And a lot of cheaper bolts, they'll be batch tested, where they test maybe one out of every 10 or one out of every 100. You don't really know. So you want one that's been tested. The next thing on a AR-15, unless you have a 20-inch barrel, you want to look for this black insert on the spring, and this is I believe these springs have 5 coils, and the rifle length extractor spring will have a blue insert, and it'll have 4 coils, so it's a little less pressure on the extractor. The next thing you want to look at is your bolt, and this bolt here on the right, or this one right here, this is an AR-15 bolt, and it has this extra cutout here, and this is an M16 bolt, and you can see bolt carrier, and you can see how it has this extra mass back here, and you want this because, one, the weapon was designed around this bolt, so bolt carrier, so that's what you want. Because that's what the original design was, and they took some weight away from here, and these bolts won't work in an M16 or M4, in full auto versions. And it's perfectly legal to own these bolts. The ATF has said that that's fine. That's fine to have an M16 bolt. That doesn't make it a machine gun. That's part of your receiver is what makes it a machine gun. So totally legal to own these, and they're better to run because that's what the gun was designed around. The next thing you want to look for on your bolt carrier group is if your gas key is staked. And this gas key is staked. You can see there's 2 little indentations on either side where they push some of this material from the gas key to hold these bolts that screw the key down in place. So as the gun is operating, these screws won't back out. And you'll see a lot of cheaper bolts, they don't do this, or it's improperly staked. So you want a properly staked gas key, and that's something with Milspec. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the receiver, and I'll start here at the back. So you got your Milspec buffer tube, and the way that you can tell this is it's a straight cut. Here you can see a commercial buffer, and it's got an angled cut. There really isn't a whole lot of advantage to the Milspec, but it's just this is what a Milspec looks like. And if you have a stock that's for a Milspec, it won't fit on a commercial buffer, and likewise, they're not really interchangeable. The other thing you want to look for here is this is called a castle nut, and this is what holds the buffer tube to the lower receiver. And you can see here this has been staked, so there's a little relief on that, on the castle nut, and then they push this material in there so that this won't work out under recoil. And if it's not like that, if it's not staked like that, there's a good chance that your castle nut's going to come loose during the operation of the rifle. So that's an extra step in assembly, and it's a sign that whoever put your AR-15 together cared enough to do things the right way. The other thing I'm going to talk about is the barrel, and I'm going to flip this around here so we can see here. Milspec barrels are made out of a certain specific metal, and I'm not really a metallurgist. I know that it's the steel is called Mil-B-11595E, but I can't really, I don't really know, but I can just tell you that's what a Milspec barrel is made out of. This is a Colt barrel, and it's a Milspec barrel that I'm showing you here. And you can see here there's these markings on the barrel, and let's see if I can get those in focus. Okay, so you see we got a C, that's for Colt. MP, this barrel was also proof fired, high pressure tested, and magnetic particle tested. That's what the MP means there. It's chambered in 5.56 NATO. That's important if you want to shoot 5.56 NATO ammo. You want your rifle chambered in 5.56. 5.56 and 223 are really similar, but if you have a 5.56, you can run 223 or 5.56. If you have a 223, you can only run 223 in it, so it's not really recommended. And then the barrel twist rate is 1 in 7. Now, 1 in 7 twist rate will fire any rounds from 55 grain up to the heaviest 77 grain match bullets that are out there. If you have a 1 in 9 twist, that can shoot a 45 grain up to a 62, but it can't shoot the 77. And sometimes you'll see AR-15s with a 1 in 12 twist, which that's really only good for 55 grain. It won't stabilize the heavier bullets. So that's what you want to look for on your barrel. The other thing you want to look for on the front sight is an F stamped. See the F stamp on there? That's the height of the front sight gas block that's specified for the M4. Now, if you have a rifle length, there's obviously going to be, if you have a 20-inch rifle length, there's obviously a different front sight post for that. And also the other thing, I'm not going to pop this open, but you want an H buffer. H buffer is a heavy buffer, and sometimes, this is a commercial buffer here, and you can see the face of this where it's just plain. The H buffer will have an H stamped on there, and the H buffer is a little heavier than this is a standard carbine buffer, buffer weight anyways, and the H buffer is a good thing to have. It slows the rate down, and it just increases your reliability. And also I've noticed too on the standard carbine weight buffers, the bolt will kind of bounce when it cycles, like it'll come and close and unlock and then close again. And then when you have the H buffer, it's got a little bit more weight behind it, so when it closes it just slams shut and stays shut. The other thing that you want to look for is M4 cuts, and I don't know if I'm able to show you this. It might be kind of hard. Oh, you can see them. It's kind of hard to see here. On your upper, you want to have M4 cuts, and let me see. I can't really get the light in there. Let's see what I can do here. M4 cuts are cuts made into the upper receiver to increase reliability. There you go. You can kind of see them there. So see, there's those two cuts in there, and you want to make sure these are really nice cuts. Some cheap ones, some cheaper rifles will take an M16 upper and just kind of roughly cut those in there, but these are the proper cuts in there. That's basically the essentials of Milspec and what you want to look for when you're buying a Milspec rifle. I hope you guys enjoy watching the video. Thanks. Bye.